Hello, Akron. How y'all doing tonight? I love it. Thanks so much for being out here. I'm very excited, as always, for this night. It's always one of my favorite nights of the month. First Wednesday of the month. Always feel free. You are always welcome to come on out. We're going to get started. Our feature is not quite here yet. But she has an amazing home for when to kicking off the fact that she might not be here on time for when she does get here. Some of you have heard that poem before. So we'll get to her in a little bit, but we've been here and I think it's time to get things rolling. We got a lot of cool poets in the room. So I'm going to start us off with a regular here for a long time, a feature at a past month before. Please give it up for TaJuan, sKai.
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing tremendously well. I'm just going to read one poem for you. It is titled, If There Were Anything Left to Say. It's the most recent poem I've wrote, and it goes like this. Mrs. Mercy, if there is more suffering to surface on these well-watered days, where I continue to find myself penniless and prayerful, and perennially far from you, then why is my heart alleyway withered in the darkest dark, busking the winter dusk away with violin, carving a silence through sound, a silhouette as the savior of a city that's callous as my past tense, tongue-tied with teenage violence. And there's nothing valorous, nothing bulletproof about the music, only an opened wrist vulnerability and a hope-end wind oversaturated with ghosts, regrets, a regression that sticks, graffiti on brick, but the violinist doesn't quit, strings on a carousel crescendo with unsettling beauty, like picking pills from the thrifted blue carpet, like the laughter of the men that raised me. And everyone wants to be more than air pollution, to mean more than a hole in the ground for our enemies to dance. This life but a search for a certain intoxication, and the cries of the violin reach quaalude highs, preaching sober promises, rinsing my fentanyl streets. Then the stoners and their stolen bikes, skyscraping a stolen childhood, gather to the beat like bees, dropping their honey-sweet coins into the brown hat like glitter, catching human gold light, blooming for enough change, for enough change for a kind word or a soda pop. And eventually the brown wolves will howl at the moon. And eventually the hallelujah noise must stop. The heart can only go on. And the evangelist would say the city is saved. The prophet is rest in rosebud. Lucifer is flesh and floored. But that is simply wishful thinking I cannot afford. Yet the silence we share must bring us closer, right? A handshake, a dirty chai, double kisses on the cheek. And while I still have some sense in me, Mrs. Mercy, you wishing well, if there were anything left to say, it wouldn't be the alchemical nothings that would turn my past to riches, but the wayward words that waited at the train station all this time to meet me when I needed them the most. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Poem.
more time for TaJuan sKai. We're going to bring up 2 more poets for 1 poem each, and then we're going to get our feature up here, and then we'll open the open mic for get everybody up here as well. I'm hoping you bring the poem that I'm already kind of talking about timing. I'll talk to you later. Next up to the open mic, another regular here. Please welcome to the mic, our Lansing. Yeah. That one.
All right, we'll put on the spot. So this one is work in progress. We don't have a title for it yet. I find myself hanging somewhere between laundry and salvation. The dryer buzzes, tells me the socks are done tumbling, but clothespins keep my hands strung on the line. Dangling between the tedium of folding and separating the whites and the delicates, souls categorized like laundry, I cannot escape the chore of deliverance from detergent and the damnation of this stain I cannot get out of my blouse. Is there salvation in the rinse cycle? Or is the residue from dirty hands wiped on slacks too far buried in the fibers to bring forgiveness? Did Eve stain her skin when she ate the fruit? Forced to cover up the reminder that all she wanted was to know. Me too, Eve. I want to know why the laundry basket never empties, why the clothes don't fold themselves, why one fruit in one garden has left me hanging on the line, wondering if it's sin or something else that keeps me here, one fold at a time.
Self-folding laundry.
Let's give it up again for our Lansing. We're going to get you one more opening poem here before we get our feature. Please welcome up to the mic another new regular here, Sara Jane.
At the intersection of time and place. Whatever keeps me from you is jealous. The swab, the sweat, the timer lazy from malintent. I met Winter at the bar and called her woman till the glass we shared was empty and all the taps were kicked. And she asked about you. She called you Adonis. And I've got chills in places that I'd rather be when waiting is out for a smoke. I'd rather smoke the weight from hiding and scorn winter out of love. And I'm one pink line from where it started. 2 lines from the end. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh. One more time, Sara Jane. All right, now we're going to talk about our feature. So, we opened this event, monthly event, first Wednesday of every month, a little over 3.5 years ago. We had yet to repeat a feature. Every month been a new feature for 3.5 years. Tonight we get our very first feature back up to the mic. Some of you are already familiar with Danielle's work. If you're not, you are in for a treat. One of my favorite poets, one of my favorite humans. I am so glad you are back. Yeah, I'm just going to let you kind of get into yours and let them feel this for the first time. If it's for those of you who have not heard Danielle yet, for those that have, I know it's always a treat. Please welcome up to the mic, Danielle Nicole Nikki Dixon!
All right, it's always good to be back at the Rialto. Unfortunately, life has been lifing. You know, I don't normally get off work till 7:30, so that's why I haven't, been back. But I was able to take a little time off early to come back and see my peeps here and get more.
Woo.
All right. So it's funny, these glasses, they ain't doing a damn thing. Well, I've been writing, since we last saw each other. Unfortunately, I realize a lot of the work that I've been doing has been for projects. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because some of them pay a very nice honorarium.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, to think you could get paid for doing this thing you was gonna do anyway. Okay, so this first one that I'm gonna hit you with is one that I just recently did for Black's Museum. It's where we, all the artists involved pick someone from Black history that you're gonna honor. We either write a poem, some people do songs, some people, do artwork, paintings. Sometimes I do it all. I've been getting back into what my actual degree is for, which is visual art lately. So sometimes the words and the visual don't always work at the same time. So, but anyway, this year I chose Harriet Tubman because, I didn't know she did all the stuff she did. And then it's like with the ADD, I'm looking at a documentary about her, and then I'm like, wait a minute, she tried to help her brothers escape, and they dragged her back down to slavery. And I'm like, wait, what happened to them? Now I'm down rabbit holes, and then I discover more stuff. So this one is called Ain't That Just Like a Black Woman? Lessons I Learned from Harriet Tubman. I wonder what Harriet Tubman's brothers saw the night they made their first escape attempt, got confused, thought they were lost, turned around to go back to the master, dragging Harriet back into enslavement with them. See, they only knew Armenta Ross. Couldn't fathom the 5-foot giant Harriet Tubman would become the most famous conductor of the Underground Railroad, whose train never derailed, the general who led 300 black troops in a successful Union raid along the Combahee River, liberating over 700 enslaved people, the woman who would lead 73 different families of people to freedom and never lost a passenger. Did they forget that she had been catching muskrats in the swamps since she was 5? That her father showed her how to survive in the forest? That sailors at the shipyard taught her how to know her position by the stars? Still, they didn't trust her ability to read the sky? And ain't that just like family? To look at the capable, grown woman, knowledgeable, back strong, and still only see little Minty, the sickly girl with the head traumas and the fainting spells, to see her prophetic visions as hallucinations? Harriet lesson number 1. Only run with the people who are ready to run with you. Lesson number 2. Shoot anyone who imitates Lot's wife. Oh, some of y'all got your Bible lessons in there. Look at you.
Take a second.
The rest of you who don't get it, Google it. Google what happened to Lot's wife. Okay. Scene, we're back. She had been married to a free black man, John Tubman, tried to get him to run with her. He didn't want to risk his freedom, threatened to tell on her if she left. Harriet lesson number 3. Take the calculated risk. Bet on yourself. She left again 3 days after the first failed attempt. She makes it to Philly, earns money, cooking, washing, selling produce, doing odds and ends. And ain't it just like a black woman to go back to get her husband and sister? Even saved enough money to buy him a new suit. Gets back to find he is remarried. Okay, let's let that sink in. Can you imagine? I'd be hotter than fish grease. Anyway, and her sister refuses to leave. She didn't waste the trip though. Gave another man that suit. Took him and a whole group of others back with her to freedom. Lesson number 4. Everybody can't come with you. You've got to leave some people behind. She finds William Still's anti-slavery office, shares her story, where she came from, how'd she get free, who helped her, what can she do to get more folks free. Harriet lesson number 5. Networking with the right people increases your likelihood of success. She plugs into the already thriving Underground Railroad, makes 13 trips carting her precious cargo, including the same brothers that dragged her back down back in Maryland. And ain't that just like a black woman to forgive? 1854. Word through the grapevine is her brothers would be sold after Christmas. She sends an encrypted message. When the good old ship Zion comes along, be ready to step aboard. No one turned to salt that time. Ben, Henry, and Robert recognized Moses when they saw her. Harriet lesson number 6. Freedom doesn't feel right without the ones you love. The penthouse gets lonely unless you send the elevator back down. 1862 to 1865, Harriet Tubman worked for the U.S. military. And ain't it just like a black woman to lead a successful mission, crippling Confederate resources, while again, never losing a soldier, and like so many women who served, never getting paid the wage they were promised? She was a scout, spy, and nurse by day, baked gingerbread and pies, and took in laundry at night. And ain't that just like a black woman to scrape by, to make dimes into dollars? Harriet would become the first black woman to receive a military pension for her service. And ain't that just like the government to make you fight for 30 years to get what's rightfully yours? Mother Moses would later go on to found the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged and Indigent Negroes, where she cared for the poor and elderly next door to her home. After her second husband passed and her health declined, she would be cared for in that same facility. And ain't it just like a black woman to come up from slavery, excel at every assignment given, go on to own her own property, and die with no money because she helped everyone else finish life with dignity and die in grace? Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I'm a gardener sometimes. At least in spirit I am, you know. When my back and hip want to work with me, you know. So, you know, this is one I've made about a gardening reference here. I call it a parent's prayer, really. He was the plant that grew faster than its base. The flower that wanted so badly to see the sun, it didn't allow time for the root to develop and the base to strengthen. He stretched beyond his scope, trying to reach the sliver of sun that came through the highest window every morning. He grew lanky, spindly. The stem, unsupported, collapsed, choking the flower that would never see the sun. I thought he was just young, impatient, like so many of us that wanted to leave the hood, thinking somewhere else was better, like home was something to escape from. He was like my collard green plants last summer when the drought hit. The leaves stopped developing. The ends turned sickly green. I couldn't keep up with watering and feeding. The plant flowered prematurely, went to seed, which makes the leaves bitter. Experts say we should pinch the flowers off so the plant focuses the energy on nourishing its leaves instead of creating young. But there were too many to get, and the new ones coming every day. I imagine my collard green plants hoped for their seeds to drop and get carried by the wind. The fertile soils with plenty of water, knowing it could never leave. Seeding is a parent's prayer, really. What I know now about plants is that improper nourishment is what causes the base to get spindly, unable to support itself. The plant flowers before it's ready because it knows it's dying. It wants to finish the life cycle, to continue itself through the fruit. When I was a teenager in the 80s, so many of my classmates had babies before diplomas. I wonder if their stories were less about teenage promiscuity and more about dying plants in malnourished soil trying to continue themselves. A parent's prayer, really. you know.
Seth, can you give us a little more light?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks. All right. Well, this next one is one that I actually wrote for an environmental. Okay, there we go. It was an environmental. What do we call that? Revolutionary something.
Okay.
I don't know. I forget what we call it. You know, environmental activism.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
We'll go with that.
There we go. How am I a poet and can't find the words? So this one is called Our Descent into Perversion.
All right.
Because, you know, I gotta be dramatic. Okay. Our descent into perversion starts with the invention of front lawns. Monarchs and aristocrats flaunted acres and acres of green grass, a boast of opulence, a flex over common folk who had to use every viable plot of soil to grow food to feed themselves. Our descent into perversion starts with a deliberate decision to not feed people. The way urban planners practice botanical sexism by not growing female trees because female trees bear fruit that everyone can eat. They say that male trees are cleaner, that no one wants to clean up overripe fruit that falls to the ground that could feed people and the wildlife and the bees and the worms that in return give black gold back to the soil. Meanwhile, all the seeds that male trees drop that's supposed to keep the circle of life going has no female tree to pollinate, so it falls to the grass, gets blown around in the wind, pollutes our air quality, makes us sneeze, spend more money on inhalers for the wheeze. During the Depression, poor folk went outside and picked baskets full of dandelions, used every part from the root to the fruit, ate the greens and the flowers, used the stems for tinctures, teas, made syrups and caffeine-free coffee. Our perversion shows up when we use pesticides to get rid of the dandelions and then pay $10 for a bag of spring mix at the Whole Foods. It shows up as HOA fees and city ordinance fines for having too many weeds, which has brought us to this place where we've cleared so much land, so much indigenous plant life, that our pollinators don't have enough to sustain them. Pesticides, diseases, predators, and not enough to eat have decimated bee populations. Bees pollinate the foods we eat. The bees died, we died. Can you imagine what we'd have to do to get one cucumber without the bees? We'd have to step in as go-between for the male and the female flowers to hook up. I'm talking cucumber husbandry. Like escort service for vegetables. We have to pinch off the open bloom of the male flower, physically tap it into every female flower available to transfer the pollen that fertilizes the fruit. Our descent into perversion is to become plant hub prostitutes, giving hand jobs to tomatoes, watermelons, squash, without the romance. No seduction, no Barry White, no 90s R&B bands, billowing white shirts, dancing on white sand, selling fantasies about the pleasure they'll bring. Just bang, 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 bang. Just rough and raw. Discard the spent male flower to the ground when done. While our politicians seem more concerned about keeping rights from thems and theys, I'm more concerned about real perversions. I don't want to have to be the madam to vegetables just to get the eggplant. But some people are fighting back, changing the environment from the ground up by replacing nearly useless grass, with creeping thyme, clover, low maintenance native flowers, supporting the ecosystem, providing shelter and food for pollinators, using less water, adding nitrogen and nutrients back to the soil, because natural anarchy is the best type of resistance, because inevitably we all get it from the soil.
As much as you want, we're here for you.
Okay. I'm trying
We're not pulling you up.
I didn't realize how much stuff I haven't shared with this particular audience
Yeah.
until I was going through everything last night, and I'm like, oh shoot, they haven't heard this one. Oh, they haven't heard that one.
Hell yeah.
Well, okay, here's one. We got any nurses out there? No?
She's a nurse.
All right. Hey, there you go. Well, one of those great honoraria opportunities I was talking about was back in 2024. I was asked by the Cleveland Plain Dealer to write a poem in honor of Nurses Week. So I had to do some research, and I didn't realize how many nurses I already had in my life. And it's funny, when you ask a nurse, hey, what would make you feel honored? None of them can tell you just a straight up answer. None of them can. But that really goes to tell you who they are as people. They're more concerned about getting the job done than they are about what would make them feel honored. So I wrote this poem. It's called Standing in the Gap. Family drops off elderly patient, tells him they'll come back for him later. They won't be back. But that promise is a lifeline that he clings to. It's the only thing he owns. In his rapidly shrinking world, strangers poke, prod, ask questions he can't answer. He tells everyone who will listen that his family will be back later. But it's getting dark. It's always worse when the sun goes down. His anxiety goes up. He becomes combative, insisting that he's going home to a place that only lives on in his mind. And this is the juncture where the rubber meets the road. The place where you'll find the world's most essential worker, consoling, soothing, holding the hand of the family member that doesn't belong to them, and yet he does belong to them. The familial surrogate, standing in the gap between dementia and the reality that no one is coming. Joining him in his world, allowing him to keep his version of reality, holding his dignity in high esteem. We see you. Standing in the gap is where we find the heroes we call nurses. Whether they're comforting an addicted newborn in the NICU or sitting with a patient long enough for his mother to get a shower and a bite to eat before she comes back to camp next to her son for the night. Or the nurse practitioners who become the bridge over troubled waters between overwhelmed doctors and offering expedient care for patients. We don't always recognize the value of a nurse until we need one. The gaps they're called to stand in can be foxholes in a war zone, and sometimes full bedpans are grenades thrown at their heads, and sometimes there aren't enough troops on the front line to win the day. But those who traded in capes for scrubs and lab coats show up anyway. This work is not for the weak. But thank you for asking if we feel safe at home and genuinely caring about the answer. We saw you when you went above and beyond to coordinate a patient's benefits with social services so they too could have a home to be safe in once they left your care. We see you staying late to finish charting, when your day takes a hard left turn early and you dance with it until reinforcements come in. We saw you talk that patient off the ledge and keep them until they could keep themselves. We see you support and keep each other, educate and advocate for your brethren, create networks of resources that help you hold yourselves together because you understand the gap and only you can fill it. We see you standing in the trenches of grief, supporting the family of the patient that did not get the Hollywood ending. Because when all is lost, all you can do is be there. All you can do is stand, and stand you do. We see you, and we thank you. Okay, here's one I don't know if we recorded this one before. The Ode to Octavia Butler?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you need to know, who knows who Octavia Butler is? Butler, not Spencer now. Two different people.
The author. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Yeah, so here's your homework. Go Google Octavia Butler and start reading some books. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's one of my favorite, I don't know, are we going to call her science fiction? Are we going to call her, I don't know. But she wrote this series of books called not Earthseed. It's the Parable of the Sower and the Parable of the Talents.
Yeah.
They're not religious books, so you don't have to be scared away, you know. But she kind of predicted a lot of stuff that's happening today. So
Scarily. Like
yeah.
slogans and everything. Yeah.
Right down to "We Make America Great Again." She predicted that all the way. I'm trying to tell you, she predicted all of it. All right. So go read them. You won't be disappointed.
No.
And then come back and talk to me about it later, because I always like to talk about those books. Anyway, I call it "All You Touched, You Changed," or "I Searched for You." Because see, sometimes I'll be trying to find out, how do writers live off of this, you know? And she managed to get it done. Now, it was rough in the beginning, okay? But anyway, Squirrel, I'm going to get back to you. I want to know how to get it done, because I'm tired of this day job. I love you, company I work for. Okay. But seriously, I need to do art more than I do everything else. Anyway, okay, Squirrel, scene, we're back. All right. I searched for you, Octavia, like Doro sought on Yanwu through the millennia, fashioned myself as Rialto, and tried to reach you from within the pattern. Visualized complicated grids, mazes, ley lines, and timelines, a large computer motherboard in my mind like an aerial view of the city. I searched through interwebs and worldwide nets and found you in the works you left behind, in the marginalia of handwritten notebooks, amidst plots, characters, history and mythology, affirmations, grocery lists, research to do, people to call, the publisher to ask where that check is, your mother to see if you could borrow a few dollars, calculations of how much rent was due, considerations of what to pawn if all else failed. I found your footprints in the sand, the path on which you wrote yourself to financial freedom, up and working each day between 3 and 5 a.m., the hours sages and witches believe the new energy of the day comes in. You never considered yourself a sage or a prophet, though you did predict the pandemic of our political climate. You knew they would be feverish to make America great again. You claimed history was cyclical and humans are hierarchical, and your stories were not prophecies but cautionary tales. I wanted to know your formula for crafting worlds. You said a handful of earth, a handful of sky, and everything in between and all around. I found you in sound bites, interviews, and symposiums. You told us we don't see ourselves, if we don't see ourselves in the story's future, to just write ourselves in. The self must create its own reasons for being, to shape God, to shape self. Through your words, I would become wild seed, go into myself, heal myself, transform myself, become ethereal. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. I wonder if you knew that you'd have an earth seed following outside of your books. Did you know that your works would be made into movies and miniseries, or that there would be threads of you woven into the fabric of Annette Okafor, Colson Whitehead, N.K. Jemisin? I wonder if you know that all you touched, you changed. That she really does have a following for the religion that she created in this series of books. It's her live following today. I swear to God. Google it. Okay. But we still good? We got it? Okay.
Go for it.
I'm going to change up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm also a sports fan.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been learning so much about life from just watching sports, okay? And you know, I went from loving LeBron James to hating LeBron James, back to loving LeBron James, and now I'm watching the next generation come up, And I'm learning from watching that, because how do they even get motivated if they don't have poverty on their tail? I don't even know how to do it unless, I'm like, look, the rent is due. Look, the gas is about to get cut off. I don't even know how rich people find inspiration, Okay, but anyway. Squirrel, okay, I call this one. Now, this one was actually in, I don't know, are you guys familiar with Ray McNeese?
Yeah.
So he did this big project called A Love Poem for Cleveland a few years ago. So this piece was in that anthology. And it's called I Never Burned My Jersey. They asked me if Cleveland is cursed. Red Right 88, The Drive, The Fumble, A Burning River. They remind me of native protests since Wahoo, how they've vexed our teams. I wear my 23 jersey I bought with my bonus money. It's a baseball-style jersey with wine and gold basketball team colors. It's 2010. All of my friends have left Cleveland. They say they can't make it here. They're thriving in Atlanta, LA, Virginia. I want to leave too. It's July 2010. The King announces he's taking his talents to South Beach. A shot to the heart. Edgar Renteria off of Mesa. Our best chance to prove we aren't mistakes on the lake gone, along with $500 million in revenue. As long as the Cavaliers were winning, so could I. But I never burned my jersey. June 22nd, 2012. LeBron wins his first championship. Craig Elo defending Jordan, the posterized shot embedded into my subconscious. We watch someone else in the confetti drop again. I don't have the heart to villainize him. The kid from Akron did what every kid dreams of. I'm glad for him. I'm still hurt. I'm still here, but I never burned my jersey. I can't bring myself to say the word curse. I turn on random games of any professional sport and count how many ex-Cleveland players are in said game. There are always at least 2. July 11, 2014, the King returns to fulfill his promise, brings $500 million a year back to the local economy and a championship. No one ever came back for us before, solidifying his legend into the annals of history. June 22, 2016, I wore my jersey to work that day. We turned the internal TVs onto the parade. I watched 1.3 million bodies hanging out of parking garages, rooftops, jamming the parade route. Cleveland, this is for you. Alright, let me see here. What else we have? We got time for one more this round?
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So, when I first started sharing poetry, I was watching a lot of slam. And I kind of got into slam for a little while, and then I burned out on slam because, oh my God, it's just so dramatic. It's so dramatic. So this is me making fun of it. It's called A Recipe for a Winning Slam Poem. A winning slam poem must have 2 cups of passion, 1 scoop of fire, a tablespoon of gas for the lights. In lieu of passion, just substitute aggression. Most won't taste the difference. Add half a cup of trauma and stir. For enhanced flavor, add a teaspoon of metaphor, a pinch of art for spice. You must have the word tongue, bone, or blood somewhere in the word. The poem must have veins and skin. We must be grossed out by how ugly the poet looks when flipped inside out. You must at some point scream that poem at the audience to let them know you're serious. Let the poem bear down on them like a runaway freight train, or thrust it on them hard and raw like an angry lover. Smack them in the face with it. Ask them if they like it. Your pain is so delicious. They eagerly sup and snap fingers, and they yell, "Go off, poet, and run that back." Before you are completely spent, remember, winning slam poems require death, or dying, or near death, at least a dead body. As poets, you are tribute in these Hunger Games. You must bleed out on stage, leaving your audience completely run over. Roadkill. Police tape and chalk outlines are standard for this affair. Though good poetry may not prevail, they will be entertained. May the odds be ever in your favor.
I've heard Danielle many, many times. I know lots of Danielle poems. There are only 2 of those I've ever heard before. And that's sad. Give it up one more time for Danielle Nicole Nikki Dixon. How y'all feeling? All right. We're going to take a short break here. We'll come back with the open mic. This amazing human over here is Seth Vale. He's got you for drinks. This other amazing human over here is Nate Vale. He's got you for food. They are the brothers that own this establishment, and they are artists doing work for artists. They are not here for the money. Trust me, they put in a shit ton of work, and they're here for art. All right, y'all, how you feeling? All right. All right. Thank you. We had some great energy during our opening. Let's keep that going for the open mic. So I'll be calling folks up. We got a nice list, some great poets coming up here, and other folks doing other things under poetry. Keep it to 2 poems or less, except for our first poet to the mic. Most of you already know why, but otherwise 2 poems or less for everybody else. Ed gets special privileges, just because Ed can go through 3 poems quicker than most of us go through 1. So we let Ed go 3. But yeah, I feel like we're starting here. Not now, just catch it later, but I forgot to mention earlier, there is a suggested $5 donation. If you're willing and able, that goes directly to our feature. So if you're able to throw a few bucks and haven't yet, you can also do it through electronic means. Just let me know and we'll transfer that over, get everything to Danielle. But first up to the open mic section here, please welcome Ed Amann.
All right. Manufactured. Broken people waiting for someone to fix their life. More getting broken every day in manufactured strife. Turning on each other now, driven to it in their pain. Too busy with their fighting in the manufactured rain. They can't see the ones who broke them. They can't hear each other's cries because they have been blinded by the manufactured lies. Told that some other broke them and to blame them for their fate makes them a ready target for the manufactured hate. All right. See, I didn't put a title on this thing. I'll read it anyhow.
Yeah?
Was this day real or just a dream? Things aren't always what they seem. You can't take for granted things you see. I don't take for granted you and me. We've seen some storms in the space we share. We've made it through the worst for wear. Can't imagine where I'd be than just being here with you and me.
Hey.
Thank you. And sometimes you put short pieces together. Sunny afternoon, lazy sunny afternoon. Yellow sunlight in the room. Sheets tangled, thoughts askew. No world outside, just me and you. I dream about that afternoon, that sunny room, those sheets and you. Dreamy after making love, we made one body out of 2. Give me back that afternoon, dreamy after making love. Sunlight lift the drifting smoke, we lit each other's dreams. I will be here on May 23rd doing the music.
Give it up for Ed Amann, everybody. Next up, I believe this is your very first time at this event. Is that right? Or have you been here before? I think so. Well, I know we've shared a lot of space, typically up in a therapy studio. But I'm excited you came down for this. Please welcome to the mic my friend Vaughn!
I don't know. I do the
You
same
are
thing.
amazing.
I do the same thing at ours. There's a good chance nobody stomps me out, but what if they did?
I'll
What if today's the day, and I'm like,
Aw,
You know,
we got you.
do that every time.
yeah, honestly, and then I'm like, I get it. Sorry. That's
We're
all I
excited
got.
for it, Vaughn.
I'm sorry, you guys. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Dear Father Time, I hope this finds you late, like almost everything you ever gave me. You tease me along with not yet over and over, like a lazy loaf repeatedly silencing the alarm after waking the whole house on a non-work day, hogging the warmth of my possibilities, but keeping my future just out of reach. You let me fall for the wrong people first. Practice rounds, learn lessons, and I call them emotional unpaid internships. Offering commitment, blood, sweat, and tears for barely any upward movement. I perch by your clock, but you pretend not to see me waiting. Where I'm fine, sharp it across my forehead while you smirk and flip another page in that smug little book of yours. Wheeling and dealing triumphs and accomplishments in my circle, but not at my hand. And then he shows up. Like nothing happened. Like I haven't spent years side-eyeing couples frolicking into sunsets. Like I hadn't memorized the sound of false love and faltered progress. And I hate that you were right. I hate that the timing fit, like it was tailored, like it couldn't have been rushed without tearing something important. But still, you owe me an apology for the nights that I cried into longing, for the years that you stole while pretending you were saving me. But it's fine. And I'll say thank you through gritted teeth, because when it finally happened, it didn't feel borrowed or rushed. It felt earned. And damn you, Father Time, for making it worth it.
Yeah. Right?
Just sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just in my heart. It's just how my heart is. You said that love was patient, but I was the only one that practiced waiting. Until I stopped asking, because it was easier than having you show up late, if at all, to everything. My triumphs, my fears, to moments where I needed a hand instead of an excuse. I learned to shrink without bending my knees. Learned how to apologize for my needs that you pretended not to hear. I looked in the mirror and I didn't see me, only the words that you called me. No wonder you stopped calling me beautiful. I became a reflection of how you felt. You mistook my silence for peace, my loyalty for permission. You watched me fall apart politely, and you decided that you weren't responsible for my mess. And the cruelest part is not that you let me down, but that you stood there watching, your foot on my neck as if it wasn't yours. So you don't get a redemption arc or a softer ending. This poem won't hold your hand and explain gently. It'll leave you exactly where you left me.
You know, I think it's very widely known that public speaking is one of the biggest fears people have in this country. Yeah, and not only are you speaking on a mic in front of people, but poetry is vulnerability. Poetry is bringing, so it adds up the ante. So even when you're amazing like Vaughn is, sometimes the nerves still kick in. Give it up one more time for Vaughn.
Communication in college. I love communication courses.
Yeah.
I love it. But being up there, I'm like,
I'm so glad you came up anyway. That was beautiful. Thank you. Next up to the mic, we have a longtime regular here. Pops in and out sometimes, but we always are happy when you are back. Please welcome to the mic, Stephen Pryce. Sporting an awesome hoodie, by the way.
I know. It's a beautiful brown color.
Hi, again, my name is Steve Pryce, and most of my poetry is about work and recovery. This is a new prose poetry piece.
All right. New shit.
I now drive individuals with disabilities to and from the day center. I am friendly with them. Most are nice in return. Some push back and yell when I'm trying to help. Through college, I rode the bus to debate tournaments. Our coach drove us to Columbus and Chicago. He was the public relations person for the power company in town. Staring out the window, I had the strange feeling I would be driving too one day. I also rode the bus to the day treatment program for community mental health. It was after my stay in the psych ward. The bus driver always made sure we were buckled up and quiet so we could listen to the radio. Cars passed us on the highway as we went the speed limit. I didn't like to be seen. It was embarrassing. I wanted to be the driver instead.
Yeah. Well done. Give it up for Steve Pryce. Next to the open mic, second time at this event. Please welcome to the mic, June.
This might be his second time here, but he ain't new.
I know him.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Good.
My name's June. I'm gonna do two pieces. I'm gonna do a light one first. It's kind of simple, but I hate people that don't say excuse me. I hate weed that don't get me high. I hate people that try to use me. I hate bugs that fly. I hate that when I fail to help someone, I end up subjecting myself to injecting a percentage of their pain into my veins like it's poison from Juliet. But this Romeo is a stranger to a love for his own genuine soul and best friends with the noise of a broken heart that beats like Dre with no volume. I hate that I wait for the day to be seen when I'm seen every day. Because my reflection is my worst enemy, and the person that I see looking back at me is the person I hate to see. It's like I'm the definition of feeling more invisible than invisible. Because there's a world full of people who feel invisible, saying excuse me to walk past each other, but I'm the only one being bumped into. I hate bending my heart like I dropped it through a shaft. Because the person replying usually makes me feel like they didn't even attempt to listen to shit that came out of my black ass. I hate being asked how you doing. Because I never know how I should answer. Do I give the usual bullshit, I'm straight, life has been lifing? Or do I tell them that I've been coping with so much for so long, knowing there's nothing they can do to help, but hold on to the expectation that they can, just to be let down when they don't because they can't? And when they don't because they can't, I get depressed as if I had the right to place my expectations of them on them. I hate being told I understand your pain by people who still have what I'm grieving. Because no, you don't. And I pray that you won't. Because as much as I crave understanding, I don't hunger for anyone to experience the taste of pain that comes with it. The bitterness of questions without answers. The sour of defeat after giving your all. And the lingering aftertaste that once again you gave away parts of yourself you couldn't afford to lose to someone who couldn't even afford you. Lately, I find myself wondering if by the time I heal from my scars, will I have more time to live without them than I have with them? And if not, then will the quality of my smiles outweigh the quantity of my tears? Because I've learned that I'm attracted to chaos because it's normal to me, but I yearn for a stranger named peace for some normalcy. When my heart fiends for love but pains the addiction, I end up becoming my own contradiction. How do you do the work on yourself when you have no experience on your resume? And the qualifications of healing require a language you haven't learned because every teacher tried to teach patience by handing out trauma and anxiety as homework. I've never understood how people could treat you in ways that affect your mental to the point you want to harm yourself. But they never want to take credit for the damage caused just because it came from your hands, even though they were the ones guiding yours. I hate being told I love you. Because the same ones who told me they loved me were the ones that hurt me to the point I didn't love me. And I hate hate, because hate just means you hurt a lot. Punk.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, March is Self-Harm Awareness Month. So I got this piece. This piece is called When I See Myself. 4 souls in one room. 3 times 2 souls became one. From 1 soul touching 3. Not including me, I know 2 others. I said 4 souls in one room. 3 times 2 souls became one. From 1 soul touching 3. Not including me, I know 2 others. I just told you I was molested by my babysitter. She took turns on me and her 2 brothers. My first taste of pussy outside my mother's womb was from a bitch that hurt me all because she had some other wounds. I used to think about how I got pussy before I knew what it was. Like, damn, most niggas would have bragged about it. And I did, because I never knew how I should act about it and didn't know I was supposed to ask about it. I was molested at 7 and didn't know till about 10 or 11. It sounds crazy, but I'm just telling you the facts about it. I got something every nigga gets, but at my age I wasn't supposed to have it. Called it Pandora's box because it made me hypersexual, and now when it comes to pussy I feel like I have to have it. I love to love, but never learned to love myself. Because to myself, love didn't love myself. And the times it tried, it found someone else to place above myself. I don't know you, or you, but I'd give you the shirt off my back if you needed it. And I wouldn't stop there, and I know I wouldn't, because I've given parts of my mind to people even though I've needed it. I'll shake your hand and use that same hand to strangle myself. Not choke the chicken, but grab the closest blade and start to mangle myself. Even though I'm swinging like Tarzan, I want to lose myself like Eminem and let the vine dangle myself. You see, I wish I wasn't me. Because if I was you, I would just see a regular nigga. As regular as a nigga going to the gas station saying, let me get 10 on pump 5. Regular nigga. As regular as every nigga here getting asked if they smoke weed and they respond, yeah, but no regular nigga. As regular as every nigga here hitting on the baddest bitch and she say, I don't fuck with niggas, and he replies, I'm no regular nigga. My body looks like I took a bear hug from Edward Scissorhands. And when I talk about it, I get different views like we from different lands. My heart looks like the red wedding from Game of Thrones. Probably from the trauma of me being homeless playing Game of Phones. You see, when I see myself, I still see myself as a boy who didn't meet his mom until he was 16 and would cry himself to sleep at night because of how much he missed her. The boy who missed someone he had never met and if he could would have loved and kissed her. The boy who when he did meet her dismissed her out of his life because he found out she was prostituting his sister. You see, when I see myself, I still see myself as the boy who was made fun of by the coaches at his school because of the way he talked. Being told he sounds like Squidward and sounds like he has no emotion because he's monotone and has a tone that makes it hard to hear him when he talks. You see, when I see myself, I still see myself as the boy who slit his throat at 17 at Job Corp and got kicked out of school. And when his father found out, the only thing he said is, why would you do that? That's stupid. That's what females do. You see, when I see myself, I still see myself as the boy whose biggest enemy was his inner me and biggest heartaches came from heartbreaks. You see, when I see myself, I don't see myself. I see sadness, grieving, resentment, jealousy, anxiety, trauma, anger, rage, madness, depression, obsession. Stuck on the past like a blast of concrete hit me. I'll be solo dolo, all I got no one as solid as concrete with me. Poem. If y'all want to follow me on social media, my Instagram is EBF_BUK_HBS. Thank y'all.
June, I was going to come up and give you some shit about calling that first poem light.
Yeah.
And then you did the second poem, and I'm like, that might be fair. Give it up for June. Is this your second time on the mic here? This is your first. Okay. I was trying to remember, and I was like, okay. So first time to this mic, please give it up for Mosaic.
Oh my God, I know her. Alrighty, it's my first time meeting you guys, so I want to do my favorite poem.
All right.
All right.
And then after, we could do something not like, yeah.
Do
All right.
Words.
I got a lot of those.
That's my favorite.
Okay, it's called To Be Loved by a Poet. You understanding love as a person is one thing, and then being a poet and trying to write about it is one thing, and then loving poets is one thing. But yeah, my favorite.
Yeah.
I write for fun, but communication is still something I need to work on. I can put a lot of things into words, but I would still have trouble saying them to you. And that's not me saying I won't try to, but this is something I'm working through. I just want to be honest with you. But I will give you poetry. I'll compare days with you to previews of heaven. I'll highlight each special moment, making each poem a framed memory. To be loved by a poet is to understand clearly, I will never run out of words. My actions will still speak louder, but these verbs get said on a microphone, on a stage. I tell crowds how much I appreciate you. To be loved by a poet is to know that you are my muse. When I write about love, I'm thinking about you. Even if I reference the blue of the vacation sky, I know that next to you is where I'd lie. You're the space between my lines, the dot above my eyes, the paper on which I write, the reason I could even think of a title. To be loved by a poet is to be told that you are an inspiration, that you deserve a person that can monologue about you, someone that can write sonnets and songs to you, someone that can write love letters with a whole lot of letters. To be loved by a poet is to be talked about every day, to audiences and stories to our future kids in every journal we write in. To be loved by a poet is to be only 5% of our photo gallery, but 25% of our notes section, and then 45% of our headspace, and 109% deserving of every word we would say and write. To be loved by a poet is to be memorized. How your eyes follow the lips of someone speaking. How you only look up once they take a break for breathing. How every time you smile, suddenly I can write about the stars a little bit more easily. I'd compare your curves to valleys or your voice to currents taking over me. I'd describe you as the reason why I'm floating or the reason why I'll soon to be drowning. To be loved by a poet is to hear poems like these and to know that more are coming because we're always, always writing. Thank you. Okay, I met a person that is very, very honest in their poetry, and I am very not. So I was trying to do something different. So it's called Bare Honesty. Just throwing out a whole bunch of... Yeah.
Wait, is this being honest or is this not being honest about being honest? To be determined.
We'll see at the end. All right. Okay. Bare Honesty. Let's try it.
All right.
I try to be a nice person on the inside. I try to be a nice person, but on the inside I feel like an imposter. I naturally want to do things for other people, but my mind says it's just so that I could keep them around. And I can't say that without a doubt. Both are correct. Fear of abandonment leads to questionable choices, like how I'll offer my physical body and the entirety of my wallet for just the slightest hint of affection. I'll accept any type of love because at least love is in the sentence, bare honesty. I hate my body, but I do nothing to change it. Besides the occasional starvation, intermediate fasting. I hate the choices I make, but I will make them again while rationalizing how this time it makes sense. Bare honesty. If someone asks, I am bisexual. Truly, I don't care about gender. But sometimes I think it's just because it gives me more options for potential lovers. Surely finding the one is easier when no one is blocked off. But surely I'm just setting myself up to get trampled by stupidity. Bare honesty. Desperate is sometimes a default setting of mine, and I know it's not healthy. But I have to admit I am my own worst enemy. Bare honesty. I treat mirrors like an insult or an exaggeration. I never quite believe in what I'm seeing. It's either very wrong or a very right lie, and I assume people's eyesight work the same way. That's why I never quite trust someone's interest in me. I'm scared of love, but I'm also scared of potential disgust and hatred, but I don't understand why I'm not used to a feeling I inflict on myself daily. My reflection being my biggest regret is crazy, and how do you even go towards changing that? Bare honesty, I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel happy when my mind is silent, but in the silence, my mind isn't. I barely get through some days, and some days pass in seconds. I doubt my presence and my purpose. I doubt whether I should be looked up to as an oldest sister. Bare honesty. My sister only started smoking because of me. I take all responsibility for making a drug habit accessible. I question whether I am a good example. I do my best, but my anger slips regularly, and I don't want to bestow the same trauma onto my sisters that was placed onto me. Bare honesty. I don't know who I am. I don't know if this is truly honesty or just innate negativity fighting this positive persona I try to put on, but maybe the positivity is innate, and maybe the negativity is the factor I can change. Bare honesty, I don't know what I'm doing. But I wake up every day with the determination to keep trying, and I'll figure out everything else on the way.
Yeah.
Bare honesty. Thank you. Thank you guys. Like I said, a whole lot of new faces. Please follow me on Instagram, 26_Mariah. I'll be back. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, give it up for some bare honesty from Mosaic. Next up, we have regular here is getting on the mic a little bit more lately. It's nice to see. Please give it up for Paula Maggio.
Okay, the last times I've been up here, I've done serious poems. This is not a serious poem, although it may sound like one, but
All
it's
right.
really not. Okay.
Cool.
So it's called Undercover. I roll over and slip out of bed, quiet, on tiptoe, unwilling to disturb the covers of the one who lies silent and solid beside me. The one I look at with longing as I ready myself for the day. The one always there for me through every chapter of my life, supporting me, entertaining me with stories and advice, with words of humor and wisdom, with everything I needed, whether I knew it or not. I glance back at the one I leave behind as I step slowly from my room, eager for the day ahead, but oh so eager to return to the one sprawled on my tousled bed, to the one that always brings me comfort, to the one that always opens for me my book.
I like her boots too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was one of those two. It was like,
Excellent. Give it up for Paula Maggio. How y'all feeling? Good. Love it. We've got some more poets for the open mic or other things for the open mic. We're going to see what happens. You, and me. Who wants to go next?
Oh man.
I mean, I can go if you want. Like, palate cleanser, and then we'll bring one of you up. All right, so I have, probably for the first time in a long time, 3 new poems I have never brought to this event. Yeah, right? I'm not doing all 3. Y'all can pick. Rachel has heard 2 of them because I had a feature at Lift Every Voice this past Saturday, and you came, and I did 2 of them. So 3 options y'all can pick. I do have a new contrapuntal. Some of you know what those are. All right, I think Vaughn's vote is there. I do have a love poem, which is very unusual for me, but you know.
I like that one too.
And then I have. Were you there on Saturday?
I had to cut out early.
Okay, cool. It's like I don't remember actually seeing
Oh
you,
yeah,
but
no,
it was,
I literally.
So you were there.
You were in the other room, and I'm like, I swung through, and I had to head right
oh,
back
that's
out.
awesome. I didn't even know you were there.
I know,
Okay,
I was
super.
going to say you were talking, but I was like,
I'm so glad you came. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the third one is the one I've not yet read out loud, which is a vegan poem. I think it's kind of funny, but I won't guarantee y'all will. So those are the 3: contrapuntal, love poem, or the new vegan poem that's not been heard yet. Somebody pick one.
contrapuntal.
All right.
That's my jam.
Yeah, I'll do 2. All right, contrapuntal. I need paper.
Yeah.
For those of you not familiar, I know several of you are, because I like contrapuntals. You write them in 2 columns. You read the first column as the first poem, second column as the second poem, and then you read across and you get something else. And this one of the interesting, contrapuntals work like a puzzle when you're writing them. And like, I had ideas for this contrapuntal. I had lines I was writing, like, oh yeah, this is gonna work, this is gonna work, this is gonna work. And then you get down and try to make it work, and it's like, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. And I abandoned almost every line except for the final line. I think everything else was scratched from my original brainstorm and what was going to be in here. But it kind of ties into fairly, to me, strange customs that we just accept and we do. One of them is we cut living flowers from their stems and cause their immediate demise, I mean somewhat immediate, the start of their demise. And the other one is when we demise ourselves, we bury bodies in the ground and take up a whole bunch of land with it. And I'm not saying either of them are bad things, they're just weird to me, is all I'm saying. So this is, well, I'll read one at a time here. Flowers. Flowers wilting. Life slips away whether we look or not. Here in the ground, this field of dandelions. Weeds ignored. Cut carnations instead. Shortened lives on full display. All I've got is dying flowers. For the dead. At your grave. Memories that aren't really here before me. You aren't just your name carved out in stone above countless bones and worms, like emptiness placed on granite. Sadness in my eyes for the grave of the dead. Flowers for the dead. Flowers at your grave. Wilting memories that aren't really here. Life slips away before me whether we look or not. You aren't here, just your name in the ground carved out in stone. This field of dandelions above countless bones and worms, like weeds. Emptiness ignored. Cut carnations placed instead on granite. Shortened lives. Sadness on full display in my eyes. All I've got is dying flowers.
Wow.
For the grave of the dead. Thank you. All right. Love poem, the vegan poem. Thank you. Love? All right. So, I'm in love, y'all. That's not happening.
Is it the one you did for 14?
It is, but it's adapted from, like, that was the start.
Yeah.
So I went, Lift Every Voice, second and fourth Saturday of the month up at Bedford Heights is amazing. I highly recommend it. I know some of you have been there yet, been there already. Yeah, absolutely. Please come out. But I was driving up, and it was the 14th. It was Valentine's Day, and it was a Valentine's Day theme event, and there's an open mic. And I'm like, I'm a poet, and I'm in love for the first time in a long time. I don't have a fucking love. I can't read an angry poem at a love mic. And so I had like an idea that I had never developed at all. And so I started trying to write that on the road, like in my mind, voice to text a little bit here and there. And then I got there and performed it. And it wasn't where I wanted it, but it was enough to get me through the 14th.
It was delightful.
Thank you so much, Paula. Appreciate that. So I met Charlene at the very beginning of December, and we met at a coffee shop here in Akron. And coffee shop dates are kind of what you expect to like have a real safe out, where you like maybe a half hour or something. You're like, all right, it's nice meeting you. We'll talk again later. And then maybe you see each other or not. You kind of get the feel of it. And so I didn't know what to expect. That's kind of what I expected, is that we'd have a short date and we'd walk away and we'd see if we want to see each other again. And we sat in that coffee shop for 3.5 hours, just chatting. Yeah.
Your butt went to sleep.
And it was this amazing combination of a conversation being really exciting and really comfortable at the same time. Like I could just sit there and chat, and it was beautiful. And our next 2 dates were at the same coffee shop.
Wow.
3.5 hours was the shortest of the 3. So this is my poem about that. I don't like coffee, and I barely like tea. But the woman sitting across from me, I will fall in love with. My excitement already brewing as we steep in memories, experiences, and shared values. She warns me how she has triple bandaged her heart, still holding scars from a previous scalding. But she is an astonishing blend of intellect and intrigue, her flavor intoxicating, the finish divine. Her beauty and warmth remain long after my tea has turned cold. The scent grows stronger with each moment, each date, but also more subtle, more special. This aroma has not drifted my way in a long time. I don't like coffee, and I barely like tea. But the woman sitting across from me, I have fallen in love with. It's a nice feeling. She just left for Baltimore this morning, and I'm leaving after this to head towards Baltimore. There's a writers' conference out there. She invited me along for it, but it's like, I got this event first. So we have to drive separate, but I'm heading out to join her for this. Really excited for that.
I got this.
The three left on the open mic are three you got a little bit of taste of earlier on. All right, fair enough. Yeah, you got it. All right, so you heard, if you were here at the very beginning, you heard already, but please welcome to the mic, TaJuan, sKai.
Hi. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do two poems. They're both relatively short, but one's really, really short. I wrote it a long time ago, and it was like my attempt at like a sonnet. Like, I don't like saying things like that. Like, I want to be a poet. I'm trying my best, but like those things like that, like I don't really know what it really takes a sonnet. It's 14 lines, and you know, there's kind of like a dip thing that they talked about in class, but whatever. It's titled Grayscale, and then I'm just gonna read right after that the second poem titled Giles Corey. If you like it and you don't know who Giles Corey is, you can DM me, TaJuan, sKai. I'll tell you all about it, all about him. Grayscale. Life is not a panda. Breath is not piano keys. These scars are a grayscale masterpiece. My midnight mantra is I was the problem, slumbering to winter psalms on loop. November and January, November and June. I view the world as enjambment and escape tactics. I wrote because I like how the letters look together. My remains are patient for horror's juxtaposition. Inpatient at the hospital, always for the last time. Reverence is written on my forearm. Last night, I woke dreaming a wedding. A single white rose, a whole tissue box. I wipe my eyes every tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Giles Corey. My God's handprint rests easy in your hidden parts. But can you see my prayers rising up like life? Aware wishes knowing there must be more light than this. But they question anyway. Aware wishes knowing you see me as water. But they worry you may drown of thirst. This pathology thrust upon me young, powerless in my child body, boldly waiting for you, the poor father, to open the closet door, a welcoming back to life. Does darkness ever grow comforting? This patience, this melancholia, all in the same. I am only doors and halls these days. But can you hear the footsteps? My heart song, marching along to the room of ubiquitous fatherhood and vibrancy where all sin is absolved. Excuse me, but I must believe in this. Excuse me, but must it be after breath for your homesickness to return you to me? There must be an environment that can fertilize our laughter. How can I joke with you again? This diamond vision I walk with from witnessing you in flames wants to hold your face, your morning coffee eyes, and all the idiosyncrasies of you that have grown unfamiliar. that distance has deprived us. Here is the vacancy, here is the canvas untouched, unsullied with the heavy hurt and hate I once held for you. But where do you keep the weight? Your own father's absence, the mummy of a man I only met in your memory. There is a son in you like there is a son in me, afraid, behind the closet door, contemplating descent at the edge of the cliff, our worth eclipsed by what we have lost. We needed witchcraft, but was given more weight. We needed a hand on the shoulder, but was given more welts on the back. We needed more weight, more weight. This is an old story. I am turning the knob. If we must carry our grief up this staircase, I will be your Giles Corey. If we must eat for the rest of our breath, I will be your king of edamame, lord over the etymology of our flight, because this baby bird will not hit ground. Have you heard? I believe in tomorrows now. Tell me again the name of my daughter. Poem.
All right. I know you just stopped clapping, but we still got to give it up one more time for TaJuan, sKai. Columbus Transplant, who has found, I think, both figuratively and pretty literally here, a new home, and we're glad you're here with us. Please give it up for Sara Jane.
Thanks. I have to leave after the open mic because I'm moving tomorrow, so I'm sorry I can't be here for the other half of the feature, but it was really wonderful getting to hear you. This first poem is called Ghosting. Mickey pours my beer from a hollow keg. Ghost belly of the conversation starved. And maybe this means I have been deemed worth haunting. Maybe this bar is where specters find women to blow their cool breath into. To brew absence in the gut of want. But I too have led dates here before. I preyed on their empty gestures. I've sprayed expensive perfume in the bathroom. But the oil stick to skin and shirt collars laid claim to translucent men forced to accept that there is more than one phantom skipping out on last call. Mm-hmm. When there's nothing on the radio. He kept our talks on old cassettes whose cheap ribbon needed tending to after each third apology. I kept pencils on hand. I played the spool like a kick drum, fervent and rehearsed. And when he said, "No one will ever love you like I do," my thumb found the groove and the rhythm of man alive, writhing in the space between the gears. And no one will ever love you like I do. Ever. No one will love you. No one will love. I do. I will. I. No one.
Congratulations on the new place, by the way.
Thank you.
Give it up for Sara Jane. All right, close out our open mic. We have a regular here for a while now, and I'm so excited you are here. Came to my feature and I believe brought the piece or a piece that you're going to bring up here, which was fantastic. I'm excited to hear it again. Please welcome to the stage our Lansing.
Y'all ever just tired of being on? If we're not on the clock, we're on the job or on call. Then it's on the go, on the road, on the phone. Trying not to do both at the same time. Stoplights and stop signs stuck on autopilot, on repeat. Unaware the world's on bad terms with how much we're on the move. Desperate to be on time because we're on a schedule. Pretending we can buy hours like they're on sale. I repeat, y'all just ever tired of being on? Waking up on the wrong side of the bed, then running like we're on the lam, like the world's on fire. On second thought, the world is on fire. But we're fighting on an empty stomach because we're on a budget. Clipping emotions like coupons, on the verge of confusing hunger for being on a diet. Starving ourselves despite what's on the menu. Or maybe because on the half shell isn't for folks like us. We can't afford sucking down oysters, ordering on the rocks, and going on vacation. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just tired of being on. Asked to be on my best behavior when I'm not even on the guest list. On the verge of collapse because the difference between being on thin ice and being on cloud nine is just which side of the fall you're on. And a world of constantly on alert, being on guard or on edge, constantly bristling and bracing for those that are on the prowl to shoot on sight. It's easy to feel like you're on your own, on bad terms with a world that turns on a dime with no how or why, just on blast for whatever lie sells that day. I am telling y'all, I'm tired. Nobody asked if I was on board with feeling like I'm on parole just walking down the street. Every edge of me on the fritz, hustling on the double, cause ain't nothing on the house here. We ain't free when we're on the margins, perpetually on stage, online and on camera, living like survival's on the line, because survival's on the line. I'm tired. On the other hand, I'm tired of being anything other than on the map. I am putting the world on notice. I am on point. Tired doesn't mean I quit. It means I'm in motion, barreling towards breaking what's on our backs. Get on this level. Get on some next level shit with me. It's time to go on a tear. Show them what it's like when we're done playing along. When we decide what stays on and what burns out.
Yeah. And that, my friends, is our Lansing. Give it up one more time. How about that open mic, y'all? Give it up for everybody who touched the mic. Fantastic job. Give it up for everybody who's in the room. If the energy is great, I hear whether you're on the mic or not. Appreciate all of you. I got a chance to change my battery earlier, so if y'all want, we can roll. Do you need a few minutes? Or are we ready to bring Danielle up? I know you got to go with the new house, new place.
Ready?
Ready? Okay, let's do this. So yeah, I've gotten to make a lot of videos with my friend Danielle. A lot of poems I got to hear. I got to bring you to feature in a lot of places. Oh, before I do this, so I don't forget, because Jim's face just reminded me in the back. March 22nd, we've got music and poetry going on. It's a fundraiser in Cuyahoga Falls for Food Kitchen, Pilgrim Food Kitchen up there. We've got musicians, we've got poets, TaJuan, myself, Michelle R. Smith, and Sugar Water Baby will be performing as well. So if you can, come on out for that. But yeah, I've known Danielle for quite a while now. I've heard a lot of amazing work, and I'm excited for whatever you have planned for this second set. Let's give it up one more time for our feature, Danielle Nicole Nikki Dixon!
All right. Did I ever read the poem Because Fuck It, That's Swine?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I would love to hear that.
that's the name of it. Because fuck it, that's why. So I'm working on a memoir actually, and it's kind of tough finishing it because it's about
Because
my
fuck
family.
it, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. This is part of it. Oh, it's all on one page. Well, I'll be. Okay. Yeah, it requires writing a memoir about people who have passed, requires you to remember, and there's kind of an ache that goes along with that sometimes. But then I was thinking I was just going to write the stories and just kind of capture the stories, and that I was going to. No, it requires you to process too, and then now that I'm a certain age, I can see everything that happened differently than the way it happened.
Yeah.
It's like I can fill in the gaps now and see all my people differently. So, all right, this one is the first of many fucking poems. Okay. So this, yeah, because fuck it, that's why. Why do black people spend hundreds of dollars on the Nike shoes and the outfits to go with the shoes, but yet they don't own any land and don't have any savings? Because fuck it, that's why. I was in high school when I first recognized the fuck it that sat piggyback on my mom's shoulders. Once energetic and full of hope, when she was singing in the band, living her childhood dream while working a day job and bartending on the nights when she wasn't rehearsing or had a gig. She had 2 or 3 jobs as far back as I could remember. That was just to make it, not to get ahead, just to still owe money for the floor model Curtis Baptist TV that they would repossess if we ever answered the door. So that day when I was in high school, my mother came home with the red disconnection notice, no food in the fridge. She had the weariness of the ancestors all over her, the same ancestors who worked themselves down to calloused hands and deformed knuckles, the bootstrapping ancestors whose whole lives were offerings to the vengeful gods of gainful employments, the ancestors who lived frugally under their means just so they could have enough to eventually own a little piece of America, only to die 3 years after paying it off. That day, when I was in high school and my mother was weary, the fuck it one. She didn't have enough money to pay the whole electric bill, but it was enough for us to go to Red Lobster. So we ate our wealth that night and pooped it out. We got messy on lobster tails, crab legs, and we laughed at ourselves, laughed at our struggle, laughed at the impending darkness that would hit the next week. And the patrons at the other tables around us laughed too. And our waitress, who had small kids and several jobs, laughed too. And we tipped her like we had it, because fuck it, that's why. Because saving for the future and financial planning is for people who will be here tomorrow. We wouldn't have known on that day in the mid-'80s that my mother would be dead at 50, her brother dead at 54, their parents dead at 61 and 67, and no, these are not lotto numbers or something good to play in the pick 4. These were the sum totals of lives and deaths. The average black man dies before he will ever get to retire, and the women left behind will figure it out. We always do. So we'll eat, drink, be merry, and spend it like we got it, because no matter how hard we work, the game is rigged. The many good people died trying. The bills will still be here tomorrow, and because fuck it, that's why. You know, some of these are actually going to be, you know, things that I'm working toward the memoir. This one was one I did for Literary Cleveland last year. They had teamed up with the West Side Market, and the theme was hunger or something like that. And we had a performance, you know, down there. This one is called we'll serve no swine before it's time. I don't want to hear it right now.
I
didn't say shit. It's not really about food. It's about food, but it's not about food. Okay.
You're good.
I don't cry much anymore. The ways I miss them hugs me gently these days. Like last week, I called the spirits into my kitchen when I made fried potatoes and onions, crispy on the edges, soft in the middle, had the whole house smelling like Sundays, the way my mama made them. The only thing missing was the aroma of her fancy Arabica coffee, and her, of course. This week, I craved barbecued ribs, cooked done but tender, then removed from the high heat, smoked for hours, low and slow, the sauce cooking into the rib, the charcoal grill piping, my granddad in his lawn chair, tongs in one hand, a short glass of brown liquor in the other, the baseball game playing on the radio. I'm craving home again, the way it was when they were all alive, when I wasn't the adultiest adult, the way the summer sun smelled when we opened the doors and windows to get the cross breeze, the way we hollered at each other but never stayed mad, my mom and grandmother making side dishes, the laughter, the way the five of us laughing sounded like a whole party full of people. My granddad would guiltily look both ways, make sure my grandmother wasn't looking, and sneak a meaty morsel to me for tasting. He whispers, "Taste that, babe, see what it say." Always knowing it was the best, until my grandmother yells at us for nibbling. My granddad guffaws in mock protest, says in his best British accent, "We'll serve no swine before it's time." As soon as she turns her back, we snicker and take another piece. So that's that one. I learned something about my food cravings in this weight loss journey that's kind of hit a stagnant spot here. I've actually learned that when I'm craving certain foods, it's not the food all the time. It's the connection. It's the people.
Yep.
And, I've also learned that when I crave sweets, it's not really the sweets I'm craving. It's because I've been adulting too hard. And I just need something sweet to remind me of why am I doing this? Yeah. So, yeah. This next one is called The Things We Carry. I wrote this one. Have you ever read the book, The Things They Carry? It's from like maybe the 70s, because he writes about the Vietnam War in this. But he basically wrote about people using the objects that they carried when they were in war. And you get the sense from just the way he described the things that each person carried of who they are, So I wrote this based on that. My granddad carried keys, wallet, a red plastic cup shaped like a cowboy boot, my uncle's old sippy, repurposed into his signature drinking cup. In a sea of red solos, everyone knows whose drink is in the red boot. For finer affairs, he carried a gold-tipped flask. When the liquor runs out, so does he. My grandmother, she carried my granddad out of parties before he got too drunk. Virginia Slim's menthol, because they were supposed to be healthier. A portable oxygen tank that she would turn off to smoke a cigarette. A pocketbook with an inhaler, Kleenex, lipstick, a compact thingy with powder, makeup, and a mirror because she would never leave the house looking undone. Pop carried cash, sometimes lots of it, like he was afraid to fuck with the bank. His wallet wrapped in 100 rubber bands so he can feel pickpocket attempts. Pop keeps heat under the seat, but he prefers a knife, a switchblade, the illegal kind. Later in life, he carried a taser. He thought it was a fun toy. I thought it meant a nigga was too close. My mom carried Stoli when she was partying, Cavassier the rest of the time, her own brandy snifter when she's feeling bougie, cigarettes in a gold box in a leather case with the change purse and the pockets. She carried a melody in those pockets, along with a dream, a dead dream of being a singer, a jazz singer. It shows up as disappointment, a regret, who I used to be, who I could have been story that trails off at until, because she realizes she's talking to me and I'm the reason she put herself on hold. As for me, I carry ghosts in my veins, in my memories, in my whys, my triumphs, defeats, my everything I tried to do's, in everything, in every exaggerated eye roll, the purse of my lips, my smile, the way my eyes squint when I laugh, the way we laughed at all the things that broke us. Every story I tell is a ghost story. We got here. Well, I guess these are a couple more from that. This one here, it might go a little dark, but you know, whatever. So this is in two parts. It's I actually wrote down the last good day I had with my mom before she went in the hospital and didn't come up. It's called Part 1, The Talk. We were talking about death and final wishes and laughing, so unserious, cracking jokes, like how she wasn't going to be caught blocking me from the great beyond from my mantelpiece. Because what am I supposed to do with my mother's body in a little box on my mantelpiece made for tchotchkes and keepsakes? You can't be up there dead with my graduation pictures. We laughed, joking, not joking, even though a whole life can be reduced to an 8 by 6 inch box. It's a hard stop for me to keep death in my living room. Maybe I'm not that strong. Maybe I need to be treated gently like a proper suburban white girl. Grant me the fallacy that a burial brings, that we can put death away, that we won't have to live with it every day. And even though that idea is untrue, I needed everybody that gave a damn to play along like closure could be a real thing. Inevitably, the most solid argument I could give was, Ma, we got cats. And you know how black folks can't stand for someone to accidentally sweep their feet with a broom. What do you think is going to happen when the cats knock all your shit over? Part 2, the look. We were talking about death and final plans and laughing, cracking jokes, so unserious until she said, hey, you think we can go to the bank this afternoon so I can put you on my accounts? My lungs deflated. All the energy I had left drained from my body until I was boneless. Just a blob of weariness melted onto her couch. My eyes dry, legs heavy. I asked in a breathless child's voice if we could just do it tomorrow. She met me with a look that knows weariness. We were having a good day. I was off. We had a day with no doctors, no hospital smell, no jaundice, no black poop. She was in good spirits. We ate a good lunch. I exhaled for the first time in weeks. Her look remained steady, eyes compassionate, lips turned down in resigned disappointment, though the silence had a patient urgency. The look was trying to tell me something words could not say. Maybe I was too tired or too dense to get it. Somewhere on some astral plane, her weariness met with my weariness, and maybe I understood everything. I just couldn't face it. Maybe I needed the belief that she had one more comeback in her. Maybe if we left something for tomorrow, we would have a tomorrow. Maybe I was led to believe we were having a good day, and maybe all the strength that she had been sucking up for my benefit left her in a long sigh, as she defeatedly said in a small child's voice, okay. So there's that. Another one of those stories that, you know, as I'm just recalling things and I'm writing things down, it's like, you know, so I'm the last living member left in my immediate family, but that's not a thing necessarily to cry about anymore, because I had a good wealth of time with them. So, you know, but it is a hell of a thing to be the adultiest adult left, you know. And I'm remembering things from when I was 5, and you know, and I now I'm able to piece the things together. So when I was 5, my grandparents had a fire, and my grandmother stayed with me for a good. Stayed with me. I was 5. She stayed with us. Okay. And my granddad was in the hospital for like 6 months, and he was burned badly and skin graft after skin graft. And I remember her and my mom had a horrible fight, because my mom's like, "Ma, I can go over, we can bring some of the furniture and stuff out of the house." And my grandmother, I watched her face turn into something else, and she was like, "I don't want anything out of that house. Don't you go over there." And I just never understood, like, but man, you got to start all the way over if you don't get this stuff, you know. But now I think I can piece it together and understand what was happening. So I don't know what this is called. Maybe What I Know Now. I might be writing a series of What I Know Now poems, but what I know now is that it was scabbed over shock that turned my sweet, loving grandmother into a pit bull, bared teeth and growl, when she forbade my mother from retrieving anything from the house after the fire. Only the kitchen was scorched. Some things were water damaged by the firemen, but everything else was okay, and nothing was okay. The man she loved since high school had been on fire. She couldn't bear the soot-stained memories caused by smoke from her husband set ablaze. The smell of burning flesh won't wash clean from the fabrics. Some kind of PTSD would not allow her to even ride past the scorched spots in the grass where he stopped, dropped, and rolled to put himself out. Some absence of reality caused her to call my mother from inside the blazing kitchen on a melting wall phone to call emergency. The smell of charred skin stays in the nose for days, replaced by hospital antiseptics and pus-filled gauze. If he doesn't survive this, all is lost anyway. So fuck that shit. Fuck all that shit. I'm gonna lighten it up just a little bit right here. So one of the things that I've been aware of about black culture is this phenomenon called the numbers. Okay, if you meet older black people, they're gonna ask you what your name is. They're gonna look your name up in a dream book and tell you what your name plays for. You know, because there's a 3-digit number that plays for everything. Okay, dream books. If you have a dream that your car died, and you don't tell an older black person that so they can look it up, what does car play for, and play that number, you in trouble. If your name doesn't play for something, they're going to ask you what your birthday is. Oh, 315, that's a good number. We ought to play that, right? It's a whole cultural thing. But you just don't want to get stuck in a line behind an old black person playing numbers. It's I call it death by lottery line. A handwritten sign over the glass by the lottery machine says, all numbers NUMBAS must be written down. This note clearly does not apply to old black people. The gray-haired lady holds up the line, hollers out random numbers that cross her mind. She's already played the 20 she had written down. Now she wants to cash in the scratcher she scratched off in the line while scratching another. Fusses at the clerk for not wheeling the last 3, but does not return the incorrect tickets. That is bad luck, you know. She fusses at the clerk to recount it because it shouldn't be that much. Fumbles in the white bank envelope to give the clerk exact change. I know without knowing that she held up the line at the bank too. She won't use the bank in the box, known as an ATM. The more impatient we all get, the slower the old lady goes. I was young and robust once when I walked in. Now I'm gaunt, withered. I can see my ribs. The lottery line behind old black people is where we bank purgatory hours before we die. A couple more. So now this one, you know, I'm always fascinated by how some black people like to call themselves real niggas. I'm fascinated by that, you know, because sometimes the people who call themselves real niggas tried to call me fake because I can speak the English properly. Now, I will fade back into some AAVE, but that's just because maybe I wanted to go home. I have the option of doing that, you know. But anyway, this one is called Nigga Heaven. Do real niggas go to heaven? Are they allowed through the front door of the pearly gates, or do they have to go around the side? Did heaven's contractors have to tear down a wall to create a back door fit for real niggas? Or is there a separate house on heaven's property, way in the back, after the streets of gold turn to gravel, past the barn where they keep the winged horses and the gold chariots, come to a clearing and the gold gilded marble fountains spew Henny and Ciroc? Follow the reverb of the bass to the gold rovers and platinum phantoms parked across the back lawn because real niggas forgot they died and don't have to hide the whip from the repo. And shouldn't real nigga ghosts have platinum phantoms with weed smoke piping out the window because real niggas gotta get nice before they go into the party? Then there it is, the real nigga shack in the back. We know Gabriel manages the gate to the big house, but who's guarding the fence in nigga heaven? Is there a secret handshake or a password? Do you have to show your scars at the door? And which era of real niggas runs the joint? Is it the Biggie and Pop type of real niggas? Or the ones that drip blue or red? Maybe it's the Bumpy Johnson, Frank Lucas kind. Better hope it's not the Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner cast, because most of those real niggas would be shot on sight. But that's them. Alright, what else we got here? What else we got here? Okay. Well, this is a quick one, and then I'll do the last one. Yeah, so I don't know what I call this one. I don't know. I'm not religious, but I believe the churchy folks when they said there's somebody for everybody. Don't think my order's gonna be DoorDash from the Jesus store though. I need me a Friday night kind of love. A worked all week, too tired for innuendo and gentle things kind of love. But I do have enough war in the tank to rampage with some mother's son. Our pulsing, so rhythmic, so strong, seismic quakes flux between passion and violence. I wonder if he hates me. Maybe I hate him too. We rail against each other, cling to each other, outlast and outdo the other. Urgency to satiate our loneliness leaves welts and bruises, but tonight we feed. They once said Jesus fed the multitudes, but we're not multitudes, just two people, and who's to say this isn't a legitimate prayer? All right, now this one, originally I called it Truth Is, but you know, this one is just, I'm late. I literally wrote this. I wrote this at a time when I was running late. I was running late for work, and you know, I just took the time to document what was happening because I was really trying. You know, I used to be late all the time, everywhere. And I was just trying to understand, well, what's happening? Well, what's going on with me? You know, I got in the shower on time. I even didn't let my thoughts just wander, because sometimes I'll be writing poems in the shower and then forget what I needed to write down by the time I get out. And then, you know, hey, I think this particular day, when I went to put the lotion on, that's when I just... It just, you know, I slowed down. I don't know where I lost time, but truth is, I'm late because I didn't want to come. It's not that I don't want to see you, but seeing you reminds me that I have to put on a bra and shoes, and really, that's all just too much for me right now. Truth is, I'm overwhelmed. I'm so confused. Can't differentiate trash from truth. Not sleeping well. Too much on my plate. I wake up, I see the sun. I know I'm already late. Truth is, I'm late because I bought into a faulty version of the real world. And there is no refund on shitty philosophies. Where adulthood is measured in sacrifices. Hopes and dreams are burnt offerings to the gods of gainful employment who keep us so broke and so busy we can't even see. We're running the hamster wheel of consumerism, replacing real connections for the chase of trinkets and shiny things. I'm late because my soul's attempts to regain my sanity have made me late for my reality. I'm late because unfinished masterpieces have been locked inside my head so long that they scream out at inappropriate times. They talk to each other loudly across my crowded head of thoughts. They created their own language. They wrote a code that unplugs my heart from the matrix, making it increasingly impossible to be places in other people's time. Truth is, I'm late because the shit I should be doing had an epic battle with the shit I want to be doing, and what you see before you are the fragments of myself that didn't die in the compromise. Truth is, I don't like being late, and I'm ashamed of disrespecting other people's time. I don't mean to make other people feel unimportant, but I'm just learning how to be important, and I'm late because our agendas just overlapped. I'm late because I contemplated not coming. Trying to determine which events to cancel and which ones my fatigue level will allow me to appreciate. I'm late because I've been live channeling anti-vaccine, reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time. Truth is, I'm late because I really should have canceled. When I walked my demons this morning, well, sorry about that. I must have wrote a PG version.
I know how that part goes. You got this.
Okay, rewind. When I walked my demons this morning, anxiety got off her leash, and fuck this shit dragged me halfway down the block. So yes, I'm late. But if I showed up for you at all, well, shit, congratulations. You made the cut.
Yeah.
Thank you all. It's always a pleasure to come here. Thanks everybody that graced the mic. And you can follow me on Facebook under Danielle Nicole Nikki Dixon. I'm also on Instagram under the same. And I think I started a TikTok under the same. I don't know what I'm under on TikTok. But I'm sure if you find me on one of the two, those little notifications, your friend on Facebook is on TikTok. Yeah. Just, yeah. All of that together, you know. Well, thank you. All right, appreciate you.
All right, y'all. We're just gonna take a second here to wrap up, and we will get you home. We will do a picture for anybody who's interested in a group shot before we head out. If you're able to throw a few bucks in there, I know some of you are doing that. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Danielle Nicole Nikki Dixon. Speaking of things that need published, when is your second book coming out? Because that last one is way too long ago for all the good poems you have.
Oh, yeah.
Every story I tell is a ghost story. I think that's a title. Roll with that. Give me a book.
You know what? That might be the
I like
title.
it. I like it. So we'll do a picture, throw some money in the pot. We will be back the first Wednesday of next month because fuck it, that's why. With Rosabelle Freeman featuring, so come back for that. Let's give it up for the Rialto Theater. You guys are amazing. Love y'all. Give it up for everybody in the room, all the energy you brought tonight. Really appreciate y'all. Thanks so much. We'll see you next month.